Hello, Acres of Diamonds audience. I am Scott Gibbs here with co-founder DJ Lagori, and this is Daily Diamond number 57. Ooh, they're adding up, DJ. They're adding
They
up.
are.
And today, DJ had a great idea. He's been reading a book, and I'll let him explain. But he's been reading a book and came up with a great quote in the book that he's going to kind of give us a summary of, and then we'll riff on that for a few minutes.
Mhm.
Try not to go more than 5 or 7 minutes, but pretty interesting topic today. DJ,
Yep.
what is it?
So the quote comes from the book Deliberate Discomfort. My mother got it for me for Christmas, so thank you, Mom. Just started
Thanks,
it.
Denise. Thanks, Denise.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. That was awesome. And and so I just started reading it. I'm about 30 pages in, and it's doing something to me. It's getting me fired up, and I knew it as soon as I read the first 2 pages. But there was a little scenario that was read in the book, and it was basically a little story about a boy who wanted to be a physicist because his father was a physicist. So we wanted to follow in his footsteps. And so the boy was doing some problems with his father. His father was teaching him all this stuff, and the boy kept asking the same questions over and over. And the father basically said, we've been going over all this stuff all the time. Are you not understanding this? Why aren't you getting this? And the boy was like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm not understanding this. And so the father said, when you're walking down the street and when you're in the shower and when you have nothing to think about, do you think about physics? And the boy said, no. And he said, then you do not need to be a physicist. He said, be something that when you do not need to think about anything, that's what you are thinking about.
Wow.
And so I read that, and like I said, I knew this book was going to do something to me. I read that, and I kind of closed a little bit, and I sat back and I said, all right, well, what do I think about when I don't need to think about anything?
So
And
what's the answer? What do you think about?
um, I think it made me think about something that Jamie Cuccinelli actually said when he was on the podcast. He said he loved helping other people find their passions.
Wow.
And I think that connects a little bit to me in the realm of, I love helping people feel happy about themselves and feeling confident about who they are, accepting their insecurities and using them as good as fuel. um, Realizing that we're going to struggle with things in our life and with in our lives, and that is okay. Everybody struggles with things, and on the surface, everybody's not as put together as everybody might seem, especially with social media in these days. And I want to make people okay with understanding that and using it to propel them forward and to come up with things that they actually want. I mean, it always hurts me when someone says, "I have no idea what I want." Well, then where are we going?
Yeah.
Then
Well, great. Because you're fine. If you have no idea where you're going and what you want, great. You're there.
you're there. You've already gotten what you want, and
Congratulations.
congratulations. And Gary Vee always says, Gary Vee, whatever he is, media individual today. He always says, these kids will come up to him. They're like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. He'll say, how old are you? And the guy will be like, I'm 27, I'm 28. He's like, dude, it's like you're as young as you possibly could be. He's like, there's people who are 50, 60, 70 years old who are still trying to figure out what they actually want or what they actually want to do. So it's a big question, and it's scary and it's intimidating. But I like helping, to try and help people find out that answer, or at least take a step forward into that answer. So that's what I think about when I don't need to think about anything.
Yeah, I'm with you. When you brought this up, I really was glad that this is what you wanted to do today because I've been trying to figure out how to combine my why or my guiding principle for my purpose around all my businesses, right? So my Vistage CEO coaching business, the Acres of Diamonds business, right? And the Business Wingman small business consulting business, right? What do they all have in common? What they all have in common is I just like you, I hate to see people suffering,
Mm-hmm.
right? And maybe I can prevent some of the suffering with some of the strategies and techniques and tools that we teach in Acres of Diamonds.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact when they're in suffering, that's the time when I can actually help them recognize that the mental McDonald's that they're feeding themselves, the mental McDonald's that they're repeating in their head, is actually the cause of their suffering. I can actually point out to them, look, you are the cause of your suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can choose to stay in that suffering state or not.
Yeah.
Right? And I honestly, I had a 72-year-old guy
Mhm.
last Friday running 2 startup businesses, raising millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. He's in the process of raising millions of dollars right now. Was suffering.
Mhm.
He texted me Sunday. He said, "My goodness, I had no idea how much I was causing my own suffering."
Yep.
That
It's-
was like music to my ears. Like
Yes.
he recognizes he's got an inner judge that is constantly on him about he's not doing this fast enough, he's not doing this well enough, he's not contacting enough people, he's contacting the wrong people, he's not raising enough money, he's raising money from the wrong sources, he's raising the wrong interest money, he's not raising debt, he should be raising equity, he should be raising debt when he's not raising that. I mean, he just like it's constant. I'm like, well, who's doing that? He's
Exactly.
like, I am. I said, exactly. So my purpose is I want to rid the world of mental McDonald's.
Mhm.
Right? I want to rid the world of mental McDonald's. And granted, I'm never going to do that, right? But at the same time, I want to pursue that perfection, right? Knowing that the pursuit of that perfection is noble.
Yes.
Expecting perfection is insane, right?
It's that process. It's that
Right,
process.
but we're going to do it, right? We're going to do it one person at a time, 2 people at a time, 10 people at a time. Whatever we can do, we're going to change the people around us,
Mhm.
right?
Because then maybe they get inspired. Because
Right.
like, to everybody listening, like I've said before, I was the first person who got inspired. I was the first person who got inspired enough to say, all right, I want to do this and teach more people about this, or introduce this idea, this type of thinking where we have total control over this. Like you said, it's totally my belief and my obligation. If I want to believe something and make it part of me, or look at something, or create a certain perspective about something, it's totally my decision. Okay. So now I got so inspired. I want to tell other people, hey, listen, we can solve this. All right. It's us. All right. That's the whole premise behind Acres of Diamonds. We
It's
have
us.
the answer. It's
Right,
us.
we have the answer.
You don't got to go looking at other places. All right. Go look in the mirror if you're going to go look anywhere. All right. You have the answers to all of these stresses, these anxieties of your life. Yeah, it's difficult. Imagine you can't rid yourself of 100% of your stress and anxiety. That's, we'll have small pieces throughout our life, but we can manage it. We can really
Definitely
kind of
manage it. Yeah.
Yes.
100%, DJ. And I am really, really grateful that you brought this up, because I think, this is a different way, a more passionate way, a more insightful way for us to talk about it too. So
Mhm.
I hope we should actually probably use this piece of collateral in other places.
We made something pretty good, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. I think this one was pretty good today, DJ.
There we go. Hey, well, let's cut it here before we say anything else. And
Before we screw it up.
Before we go for 25 minutes.
Sounds good. DJ, Daily Diamond number 57. Great job. Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Yes.
Looking forward to ridding the world of mental McDonald's and helping people become their best versions of themselves.
Love that.